Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Sylvia. Could we please do roll call?
Yes. Arib Mudin. Sorry.
Arib, sorry, here, yeah.
Thank you. Sarah Porter.
Here.
Natalie Sanchez.
Here.
Chris Smith.
Present.
Charlene Bybee will be absent today. Jessica will also be absent today. Paige Samples.
Here.
Elizabeth Flores.
Here.
Mackenzie will be absent today. Ashley.
Here.
Jorge Montano.
Here.
And Annie Zucker.
Here.
You have quorum?
Thank you, Sylvia. Did you know I was going to go off script? Is that where you came running down the hall? You felt my exuberance. All right, that moves on to item 1.03 to roll call. Do we have any, Pledge of Allegiance? Is there anyone who would like to do Pledge of Allegiance on this Indigenous Peoples' Day? Okay, I will do it then. Okay, so let's move on to item 2.01. This is for action. I'm looking for approval of the minutes of our September 9th meeting for the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission. So I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any public comment, Sylvia?
No public comment.
All right, motion passes. Oh, we got to vote. I got to see. That's why you're here. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Great. Motion now passes. So moving on to item 2.02. This is for presentation and discussion only. This is presented by Dr. Lamarca. This is an update on the Washoe County School District Family School Partnerships and Counseling Departments regarding staffing changes and collaborative work with this commission. Thank you, everybody who's here today. It's good to see you.
Chairperson Sanchez, members of the commission, for the record, Paul Lamarca, Chief Student Services Officer. It's my pleasure to introduce to you two emerging great leaders within our office, Maria Fernandez, who is the Director of Family School Partnerships, and Keely Killian, who is the Director of Counseling Services. I wanted to introduce them and let them have a few minutes just to talk with you, because these are the two departments within our office. You work with offices or departments from across the district, but within our office, these are probably the two departments you work most closely with. You also work closely with the intervention department, and maybe we'll bring Rochelle back at a later point in time. But the work around substance use prevention, the work around suicide prevention, we very naturally partner with our counseling department. And then your toolkit and our safety videos, that has been part of Family School Partnerships, and they've done things with the commission for years around Parent University. So I've asked them to just come and sort of introduce themselves and talk to you a little bit about themselves and some of the things that they might be able to do to support the commission. And of course, I'm sure they'd be open to your questions as well.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Lamarca.
Hi, Keely Killian. I'm very grateful to have been selected for this position, Director of Counseling, and I do know many of you already, which is very comforting to me. But I am a product of Washoe County School District. I went to school here from a very young age, and was also a parent of a student who graduated from Washoe County School District. I have been in the district for 25 years. So I started as a teacher, and then a counselor, and then a counseling specialist. And now I have this new position, and it's really exciting. Our office has some specially licensed professionals that we kind of oversee and work with and train. So we have school counselors, school social workers, mental health professionals, and then we also have career center facilitators in our department. And we do a lot of work around prevention, as Dr. LaMarca mentioned. So I am the coordinator for our Signs of Suicide program. So a lot of suicide prevention in schools, obviously substance abuse prevention and substance misuse. And then our office is kind of charged with responding to school crises. And that would be things like a death of a student or death of a staff member for varying reasons. So we have a really wonderful team that works in responding to school crisis. We also are the liaison with many departments within the school district. We work with family school partnerships, intervention, lots of other departments. And then we are also a pretty big liaison with the community and a lot of community organizations, which is how I know many of you. And so the work we do with our inter-district departments and outside organizations and agencies is pretty critical. And so we are happy to be here and happy to support the work of the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, and whatever we can do to support those efforts, we'd love to be a part of, and anything in the future. So thank you for having me today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria Fernandez, and I am humbled to step as the new leader for a wonderful department that we have in the school district, which is the Department of Family School Partnerships. And within this department, we have different programs that are run through different coordinators. And the most popular right now is home visits. A lot of you are very familiar with home visits, so that is something that we take into our heart, and really getting to know our families, and connecting teachers with families so they get to know the families that they serve every day through their kids. We also have Parent University, which a lot of you guys know, and the work that we do around workshops for families, where we have embedded mental health prevention through a partnership that we have with Acá Entre Nos. We have served Latino families to take the myth away from accessing mental health and understanding what mental health is about. We also have partnered with counseling, which we have done classes, and it's more like it's called a class, but it's more showing the Angst movie or the Like movie, which are movies that through documentaries are helping families understand the connection between the social media and the cell phone usage and mental health in our kids. We have done also in our office, we have an integration of the Native Ed Education and Culture program, which serves our Native Ed families and kids. So through different programming, the number one that we have right now is Natchez, where we're bringing language back, and the kids are experimenting and learning back their culture, their language through different activities. So that is a highlight from our department right now. And then we also have the Family Graduation Advocates, which support at high school levels. I actually just left a meeting where they were learning about Care Solace and how it's going to be available for kids, for staff, for families. So now they know that they have this service back, so they can continue supporting our families in the buildings that they are placed. We do a lot of things right now, and I'm like, we do a lot, but those are the main ones that I can think about. And our new integration is translation and interpretation services in our office. So now we have specialists that support any translation documents into Spanish. We do have other languages, and then also providing interpretation services for families at IEPs or parent-teacher conferences coming up. But also making sure that we have documents that are important to our community in Spanish and other languages, so our families feel that they have access to information that is needed to support their kids. The part that I kind of want to mention as well is the Safe and Healthy Schools Toolkit. Under your direction, we have built this toolkit not only for families but also for staff. And through the Families Face website, they can see resources to support emotional, physical, and also digital safety. And we are also embedding those classes through Parent University for our families to access. And again, through community organizations, we have partnerships, as Counseling has already mentioned. We partnered with JTNN to make sure that we have workshops that support our families with social media and also prevention of drug or alcohol usage at an early age. We are also having the Insight website with videos that were developed through your help and support. And I was actually having a conversation with Sylvia this morning about how these videos are meant for staff to share with families to better understand the safety procedures. I know we have some families that last year were requesting to have a counselor like a Matthews to talk about the safety after the incidents that happened in our country. So those videos are there for staff to look at and also share with our families to try to ease some of those concerns that they have about whether or not their kids are safe. So that's what we have so far, but if there are any other changes on the kit or something else that you want to do different, we're here to support the work. We are true believers that families play a big role in their child's education, and the more we can reassure them that their kids are safe in our buildings, we have also the tools that they need to keep their kids safe. We're up for that. I also brought with me this flyer. It's probably something that you guys are familiar with. This is a flyer that was developed and approved by this committee, and I can just leave it here for your review later. This is something that we give out to all of our families that come and see us at outreach events, back to school nights. We also have it on our website, and it's just a flyer that tells families about this toolkit, and they can just go see the resources. Right now, we're working through the changes on the website, so some of the links are not there yet, but we're working on making it alive as well now that we have this transition.
Fantastic. Thank you both for being here. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the commission for any questions that they may have or any comments. But I was curious from either one of you, is there anything from this commission that you would find helpful to support your work, or anything that you would like us to highlight, a trend maybe that you're seeing with students, with staff, anything that concerns safe and healthy schools that might be important for us to know?
I think that's something that Maria and I are working on, is kind of figuring out, because there's been so much work done, which we appreciate, around prevention and mental health. And I think we're seeing a lot of progress with our students in those areas. So for me, I would need to kind of think about that. Lots of different trends coming up, but I'd be happy to work with my team and Dr. Lamarca and get back to you.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and Maria.
Yeah.
I agree with my colleague. There is a big question, but something that comes up to my mind after reading regulation that was sent around access to our schools from other institutions. Something that is a trend on the Latino community is whether or not our kids are safe in our buildings with immigration and the things that are happening around our nation. So this is a trend that is very popular in our Latino community, feeling safe, not only in the community, but also in school buildings. And I know that our district has some regulations in place, but if the committee can put an eye on, and if you see anything, any resources coming up that we can then tailor down to our families, that will be helpful, just because when kids are anxious about leaving their homes and coming to a home that their parents might not be there, I think it's a big indicator that their brain is hijacked and they will not be able to learn as we want them to learn in our buildings.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Maria. And thank you both for everything that you've been doing. I'm so excited to see you both in these positions. And to the commission, are there any questions or comments? We've all determined I can't see anything, so that's why I have to like look back online. Okay, well, seeing none, thank you both so much for coming. We appreciate you
you.
and looking forward to working more with you both in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on to item 2.03. This is very exciting. This is a presentation we had last year and a continuation. So this is presentation and discussion on the Be Here Certificate Initiative, a professional development program about youth mental health by the Reno Youth City Council. And this, we are looking for possible action on this item to potentially promote this as a training opportunity. So this goes along with some of the stuff that we put out as some of our goals as a commission to look at some of these options that we might have as a school district and maybe push some of that stuff along to the Board of Trustees if that feels appropriate. So I'm excited to have Yazini and Maya here today. So please introduce yourselves and thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. For the record, my name is Yalini Arun Prakash.
And I'm Maya Zinkowski for the record.
And we are from the Reno Youth City Council, which is a group of young leaders who work alongside city officials. And today we're here to talk to you about an initiative that can truly transform how we support mental health in our schools. Our mission is simple yet powerful to ensure that every teacher, every staff in the Washoe County School District is equipped with the Be There certificate, which is an evidence-based training that helps educators recognize and respond to students who may be struggling with mental health challenges. And, this training isn't just about awareness, it's about action.
Yeah, so this, we want to talk about why this matters to us. I can talk on personal experiences. I've dealt with mental health issues myself, and I've had a lot of friends who have as well. And I think that having teachers and people who we can look up to and who can support us, who are equipped with the knowledge on how to handle people or students that are struggling with mental health is very important. And I've taken the certificate myself, and I thought that I was pretty well knowledgeable about mental health and how to deal with it. I've been going to therapy myself as well, and there's a lot for me to learn through that certificate, and I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah. And just for some context, the Reno Youth City Council is composed of high school students who meet monthly to discuss youth concerns, design community projects, and collaborate with city leaders. We've worked around many initiatives, but mental health is something that really we hold that close to our hearts. All right, so let's get started. What is the Be There certificate?
Okay, so the Be There certificate, it's a free online course, and it walks you through how to recognize signs, how to handle them, how to respond, and also how to take care of yourself as well, because your own mental health is also very important. It takes like less than 2 hours. It's pretty quick. It's nothing too long. And I think that there's just a lot in there that's like really good information.
Yeah, and the course covers how to recognize warning signs, use practical frameworks for offering support, and also just practice self-care as a supporter. And it also emphasizes that, even someone with the best intentions on helping a student navigate a mental health concern, some of their approaches may actually unintentionally do harm. So it teaches the subtle but important differences in how to exact help effectively. So why is mental health important for students? As students ourselves, we see firsthand how much mental health affects not just our well-being, but also our academic performance, our focus, our motivation. But when students are struggling emotionally, they are very much less likely to engage in class, finish assignments, or even show up.
Yeah, and I can also speak again from personal experience, but when I was struggling with my mental health, my grades definitely took a hit from that. My friends as well. And there were times that I did go to teachers hoping for some kind of support, and I didn't get the support that I had hoped for, which was a little discouraging. And also my academic performance again wasn't well. I wasn't showing up to school as much either. And this is something, again, that I've noticed not just with me, but with other students and my friends as well that I've seen firsthand. And I think it's a much bigger issue than a lot of people really notice as well. And a lot of the people and friends that I have, like, you don't notice that they're struggling as well. And I think, and this course does help you realize like little signs of people struggling with mental health, but it has definitely been on the rise to mental health issues. And I think stigma is also another big issue that prevents people from reaching out. So that's why I think this certificate specifically is also a great resource.
Right, especially because, mental health is a huge thing. It's an epidemic, and suicide is now it's now the third leading cause of death among young teens and young adults. And yeah, like Maya said, there is a huge stigma around this, which is why we want to make sure that the first people that students come to see, which are teachers and counselors, they play a critical role. And we want to make sure that they are equipped with the resources to effectively help students navigate this delicate process.
Yeah, and here are just a few statistics. But as you can see, there's a general trend where there is a rising rates of anxiety and depression, especially between the ages of 12 and 17, which is around our age group. And I think that shows that like middle high school are the key points where early intervention is really important and matters the most. And when educators are equipped with or able to recognize the signs like changes in mood or participation or attendance, they can connect students to help them sooner.
Right, because it's not about prevention, it's also just about awareness and not waiting for the crisis to already happen. Okay, so according to a 2022-2023 survey from Washoe County School District, it was reported that 52% of students report incidents of being bullied at school, and 22% say that they do not feel safe at school. And 23% of high schoolers said that they don't believe their teachers care about them. And that last statistic hurts the most because it shows how important that teacher-student relationship really is. When a student feels unseen or unheard or unsupported, their mental well-being deteriorates. Yeah, and those numbers matter. Because if the student doesn't feel, like I said, they don't feel safe or cared for, they're also less likely to reach out for help.
We also want to talk about why the Be There certificate specifically. I did touch on this briefly, but it provides a lot of new information. And I think the biggest part is also that it's really short, so it's not going to take up too much time. But even though it's so short, there's a lot of info packed into it. It's very interactive as well. There's videos, there's a lot of multiple choice. But it just provides like practical tools and frameworks and how to approach these students with empathy in these issues.
Mm-hmm. And we're asking the board to consider encouraging or requiring all teachers of Washoe County School District to take this certificate training. Yeah, it's free, it's self-paced, and it's really such a wonderful resource that can equip a lot of the staff with the ability to spread care and spread help students with this mental health issues.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate this, and thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here. That was fantastic. I'd like to open it up to the commission. What questions do you all have about the Be There certificate? Commissioner Flores.
Hi, my name is Liz Flores. Thank you for being here. That was a really great presentation. Where did you find this specific program?
I actually found it online, so you can find it on BeThereCertificate.org. It was just, I found it through, it's called, there's like a organization that it's through, but that's where I found it a while ago. JAC.org, Born This Way Foundation.
Thank you. A follow-up, if I could.
Yes, please.
And are you aware of other school districts who have implemented something like this and how they've done it?
I have not, no.
Okay, thank you for that.
So, hi, Annie Zucker. This is my soapbox. So thank you for emphasizing it through the youth voice. I wanted to touch on the Born This Way Foundation because I think it's important for potentially funding purposes. That's actually a foundation that is Lady Gaga's foundation out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and they do have funding for this. I know that it's free, but they also provide grants, and so there might be a way to partner the grants to be able to encourage or to be able to be a part of this. Also, I think going back to one of our strategic plan initiatives, being able to layer this in with some other training opportunities as we get, for Keely and her staff that are very well trained in certain areas that are more time intensive and more intensive, but different layers of staffing to be able to cover all layers, because this is something that would be great for those who are driving the school buses, that are part of the whatever construction staff, like whatever they are. If there's any interaction with children, I think there's low-hanging fruit opportunities like this one that are evidence-based and again, that is like made here locally in our own state. This program, it's actually a really great program. So thank you for finding it, and kudos to Born This Way Foundation for getting the message out about the training.
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know that it was in Las Vegas as well, and they give grants. That's really cool.
That is cool. Other thoughts, questions from this commission? I have a question. So when you complete the certificate at the end, is there something that links you to, or is this maybe to Commissioner Zucker's question of that it links you to like how you can access local resources, or is that too nuanced for this particular certificate?
I took it a long time ago, so I don't remember. I just know that it does give you a literal certificate for completing it. But that's all I remembered.
Okay. So we don't know if it links to maybe like national resources, like a suicide crisis line or something like that, but it sounds like maybe not something local.
Right, it might, yeah. Or maybe, and that could also be something that we could incorporate, like, having, make it like a package thing after they take the certificate. They also have resources to all these other links. But yeah, definitely have this as like a preliminary, like a little thing where a lot of the staff can do initially, and then further on get more resources.
Yeah, I think I like that as a layered option.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, yes, please.
So I just had a little thought, Arib Muhyiddin. I know you know me. But I just wanted to say I think that's a really good initiative that you're taking. And I know that a lot of students, especially some of my peers, they really like their teachers and they really kind of rely on them. So getting them this training, I think, is really important for them as like not only for the teachers, but also for the students.
Thank you, Reeb.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, hearing this compelling evidence and discussion, does anyone have a motion they'd like to put forward? Oh, public, is there any public comment, Sylvia?
No public comment.
Great. I'm looking at you as this is your...
I guess the motion that I could make would be for us to consider this program as a comprehensive package of programs that we're going to be bringing to the board to promote within the school district. Is that where I'm looking at Paul, Dr. Lamarca?
And me. Right now, the way this is agendized, and I think the intent of it, and Paul can clarify, is that it will be a recommendation for staff to support as part of their training package to incorporate in training to our fellow staff members. Because our board doesn't develop curriculum, our staff is the one that will do that professional development training.
Yep. Can I just echo what you said? Yeah. Oh, is it on there? Okay.
sorry, I put you on the spot for the.
Okay, so so I recommend that this is brought as part of the initiative for professional development about youth mental health, comprehensively as part of like a package. I don't know how to, because I don't want to
You
say
don't want to
that
have
this
this
is
stand alone.
exclusive. Yes.
Yes. So,
I think right here it says, and if you want it to tailor it, you can, but it says to recommend Washoe County School District staff promote the program as a training opportunity to Washoe County School District staff. And
Okay.
you could add as a part of a comprehensive training program.
Okay.
As well.
So I will recommend that the Washoe County School District staff promote the program as a training opportunity to Washoe County School District staff.
is there a second? Commissioner Smith?
Chris Smith, for the record, I will second. And then I'd like to ask a question, clarifying question.
Okay, probably, yeah, question, go ahead.
Are we assuming then that the staff would be inclusive of both certified and classified and professional technical staff, all the above, and not just one tier of staff?
I think that's the assumption, and what I'm also assuming based on the way that the motion went is that it would be promoting, not mandating.
Correct.
Yes.
Promote.
Yes,
Yes. Good, thank you.
yes. Well, we should vote on it then. Any discussion?
May I also ask a question?
Yes.
Just in terms of this, and maybe it's beyond the scope of what we can act on today, but I think understanding more this specific program and how, when we were talking about earlier, the counseling department, like working in collaboration, because I think having opportunities for teachers, but then to be able to work in collaboration with counselors, school social workers in the building to really layer that. I don't know if that's what you were getting at as well, but I would like to, okay, I'll take the training. I'm happy to do that myself to see, hey, what does this look like? But I'm really interested in terms of the counseling department and other supports. How would this play out? How could the staff hire to really address mental health in schools then support teachers and those, so that if something's coming up, having those proactive conversations, that the teachers also feel support. And so I think that's where that layered level is important rather than just diving in. I'm
Right.
almost wondering if we could have a minute, because I think the presentation was amazing. It's so great to know that this is also a program that started in Nevada, and there's that student voice and hearing how you've seen that it's meaningful and feel that it could make a difference, but really to be thoughtful in terms of our recommendation so that it can make the biggest impact.
So, Commissioner, what I'm hearing is maybe a change in, and we'll put it to a vote, a change in the motion to suggest that maybe that the counseling staff has an opportunity to review it, and then they can talk to us about how this might fit in to current approaches.
I think that's an option. I think in terms of discussion, I'd be interested in how everyone feels here, and I feel that we also have an opportunity with folks in the room to engage in that conversation. I just would want this to be the most meaningful and to really get that impact and make sure there's that layered support as well.
And I think the way it's agendized, we can't have counseling come up to speak on it just yet, and they haven't had an opportunity to review it.
I think the way to accomplish that is if you vote and you approve this, what could then happen is then on another agenda, they could report back on the promotion efforts and how counseling has begun to incorporate that in the professional development with their other trainings as well.
Yeah, I see some hesitation. Are you thinking maybe, would you like to dive into it a little bit more to look at the program more? Or?
I'm open to other thoughts. I
Okay.
see.
I just think that it needs to be on an agenda for another meeting, that we actually look at that comprehensively, since it's part of our strategic plan. So yes, we can bring this in as an option, but then where it falls within the strategic plan and the options, I think is really important work for us to start doing. And that's with the support of Keely and her team. So however that looks, to agendize that in the future for us to have like a really, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking.
No, that's fine. To Annie's point, we would need to stick to this specific agenda item, but if that, I think, Dr. Lamarca is sitting right here, and your chair also hears this. So for a future, if that is the appetite of the committee, that maybe we want to hear more about the professional development that's occurring to our staff, and then how this program, if voted upon, would be layered in and promoted to staff, that could be on a future agenda item to kind of address some of your questions.
Okay, so before we move on, I want to check in on public comment.
We do have public comment for Marcina Kevin.
Yes.
Can I just do one at the end?
Oh.
Okay, no public
Thank you.
comment.
Yeah, okay. I just saw Sylvia give me the nod, so I just wanted to make sure we got it. Okay, so do we want to, given how we are going to proceed, do we need to change that motion, or are we okay with the way that the motion stands? And we're understanding that the motion is to promote. We're not officially adopting anything without feedback on the next agenda item with counseling and Keely. So, okay, we're good on the motion. Okay, so let us have a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. The motion passes. Thank you guys for coming and for being here today, and thanks for showing this to us.
We really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, all from public comment from the last time you were here. So, great, thank you. All right, so in a similar fashion, we have item 2.04 for presentation, discussion, and possible action from Dr. Lamarca to include information on the Wait Until 8th cell phone pledge to this commission.
Hi, thank you, Chairman Sanchez, members of the commission. Again, for the record, Paul Lamarca, Chief Student Services Officer. So you do have this flyer. You had it in your packet. I know you didn't have a lot of time. I'm hoping that maybe you were able to read through it and maybe click into the FAQ that's attached to it. Previously, I would say going back almost 2 years, the board was emphasizing the need for sort of digital support for our families and for our youth. And you took that on to a degree within your toolkit. So the real question is whether or not we might want to add this to that toolkit. I believe, and I don't recall specifically, but I believe we talked a little bit about a book that was written called The Anxious Generation. It's sort of pseudoscientific. There's a lot of science that's referenced, but it's really more of a popular book. But in that, the author is arguing about sort of the pitfalls of smart technology, especially affecting our younger children. And he makes a very compelling argument regarding the fact that in most instances, social media and smart technology, the default for families is that they are in, as opposed to actively consenting to be a part of a particular media platform or package. And his argument was that from a regulation standpoint, minimally 16 years of age should be required before kids have the ability to essentially sign a contract. And prior to that, parents ought to have an active role in making those decisions, and it's kind of reversed right now. So this program is sort of in keeping with that. It's a Wait Until 8, sort of a campaign. It's really just a pledge by a family to limit or perhaps not have smartphones available to their kids until after 8th grade. It's certainly not binding. It's a good idea, or arguably a good idea. You can determine that. So we were approached by a parent in the community. We've been approached by other parents in the community. A year ago it was a different organization. They were very supportive of the Phone Away, Learn Today campaign the district started. This is a step in that same direction, and I just indicated to that family and that group, we connected those two groups, by the way, and then we said that we would bring it to your commission because you do have this toolkit that has some digital citizenship sort of present there. So again, lots said there with very little content, but the question is whether or not you want to include this in your toolkit or not.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. LaMarca. What questions does the commission have? Commissioner Flores.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores, for the record. Thank you, Dr. LaMarca. How would you see this being shared with parents in the future if this were to move forward?
So I think that's a really good question. So the minimum that we would do is we would include it in the toolkit so that if a family accesses that toolkit, and we do promote that periodically, this would be one of many resources they might find. I don't think we are at a stage where we would be aggressively pursuing this as a school district, like trying to reach out through Connect Ed messages or other sorts of messaging to get families to opt in. This, I think, from our standpoint, from our office's standpoint, this is merely a recommendation to parents around digital safety. And this is something that you might want to consider, especially for kids prior to high school.
Commissioner Porter, I can see you. I was wondering if you had a comment or a question.
Yeah, I don't have a question. Thank you. I just want to extend my support for this. I think that it is a really great thing to include in the toolkit. It's not pushing families one way or the other, but it is giving them one more resource for kind of digital safety and also just awareness. So I really support this being a part of that kit for parents.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Porter. I would say I support this as well. I really like the idea of not no tech, but slow tech, really based on child development and in terms of, what is our responsibility as adults. Our responsibility is to kind of give access to some of these things, but be mindful consent about how we're involved in that. So I like that it is not a binding thing, but a suggestion. Yes, Commissioner Flores.
Commissioner Flores, for the record, if I could just make a comment, I would also be in support of this in my particular line of work in juvenile services. We have seen shifts in the offenses that we're seeing that are very much fueled by access to social media and other platforms that are just changing in a really powerful way, in a negative way, the behavior our kids are engaging in and exposed to. So we would also support for that reason. Thank you.
I also want to acknowledge if commissioners have not had the opportunity to click on that and maybe would like some time to look at it before they make, any sort of ongoing recommendation, that's okay too, because I had a chance to look at it and I liked it. It seemed pretty reasonable. Are there any public comments?
No public comment.
With that, is there anyone that would like to propose a motion? Or do commissioners feel like they might need some more time to look at the data?
Chris Smith, thank you, Chair. I would like to propose a motion that the commission recommend that the cell phone pledge, will recommend that the wait until 8th cell phone pledge make that a part of our online toolkit for families.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
It's Commissioner Flores, I'll second that.
I'll
motion.
second.
Great. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, great. With that, the motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Lamarca. And now on to item 2.05. This is for presentation, discussion, and possible action. And this is to revise and review the draft videos and scripts for gun safety and any potential future video topics related to safety and security. And we've got Andy joining us again. Good to see you.
Am I on? Good to see everyone. Hi, Commission. For the record, Andy Castaneri, Communications Department for Washoe County School District. So yes, indeed, we have a video. Essentially, this is a draft because we're waiting for your approval on this. I have some sort of comments or notes afterward, and of course, I'm open to hearing feedback.
Every day, families in Washoe County do what it takes to keep kids safe. One powerful step we can take at home is secure firearm storage.
We're looking at some of the confiscated items that we've taken off of students, either students, adults, or parties that have come onto our campus. It's completely illegal to possess a firearm on any school district property in the state of Nevada.
When students bring weapons to school, especially firearms, the consequences are serious.
It's certainly one of the more extreme referrals we see in our agency when it comes to firearms. And with that comes at times a pretty extreme response.
That response can include both school discipline and legal penalties.
Up to 200 hours of community service. They could potentially lose their driver's license for up to a year. The parents are often involved in terms of making sure that their child is coming to court hearings. With those court hearings often comes appointments with probation officers or case managers. Sometimes there's treatment involved with that. And in our most extreme circumstances, they're removed from their family or from their home in general and sent for correctional care.
Parents also have a critical responsibility and can be held civilly and criminally responsible if it's found they are negligent in keeping firearms secured. And the research is clear. Safe storage makes a life-saving difference.
Households that keep firearms unloaded and locked and stored separately from ammunition are 70% less likely to have any kind of unintentional gun shooting or gun death occur.
Be Smart for Kids is the Northern Nevada branch of a national campaign launched in 2015 to promote responsible gun ownership.
We're nonprofit, non-policy oriented, non-political. We just are in the business of informing adults, sharing materials and resources to keep our community safer and our kids alive.
One key strategy is helping families feel comfortable talking about firearms. Another is teaching young people what to do if they encounter a gun.
We recommend that parents have that conversation with kids before it happens rather than after, so they don't have to try to make a decision in the moment.
Together, we can keep our kids safe in school and at home. Secure storage saves lives.
It's great. Thank you, Andy. What comments, questions, feedback does this commission have? Yeah. Jorge, we're waiting for you. Maybe we just called him out unintentionally.
No, thank you. This is Commissioner Jorge for the record, Montano, Renown Children's Hospital. I was actually waiting to hear the feedback from the rest of the team, but I can let it lead us. I think it was fantastic. I got a chance to look at it earlier. I really like the incorporation of our school police and juvenile services. I think it starts the conversation regarding what we're seeing in our local high schools. I think it's a good balance of a conversation about how real these issues are, but also an empowerment at the end of ownership of adults and parents, that it's our responsibility as adults, caregivers, and ultimately potential firearm owners to do this and be responsible. So I'm interested to see what the feedback is. Andy, great job. Very happy with the video.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other feedback from this group? Commissioner Smith.
Thank you. Andy, thank you very much for the presentation and the work on the video. Just a quick question, just to refresh our memories a little bit on the idea of how the video strategy will be pushed out to parents and other members in the community to really just take in the materials.
Yeah, good question. We have, of course, our YouTube page for Washoe County School District. We have our social media pages. Now, this is longer than you'll find on social media, so oftentimes what we have done with some of the previous videos is a smaller clip and then a link to watch the full one to bring awareness and to get people there. But the YouTube, of course, they can see the whole thing. We also have a connections internal communication that goes to school principals. We, again, can't force them, but we can say, hey, check this out. You can share, with your staff. We have opportunities with Connect Ed, family newsletters, again, to encourage families to click and watch. And as we've done with the previous ones, I'm not sure if you were here, we also, once it's approved, will translate to Spanish, so it'll be available in 2 languages.
Great. Commissioner Flores, had you had it?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Flores, for the record. I just wanted to thank you personally and directly, Andy, for your continued professionalism. I'm just so pleased always with, the production skills that you bring forward, and also for making my staff this time and in previous times very comfortable with the process. So thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any edits, suggestion, feedback for anything to change? Dr. Lamarca?
Sorry, I do have to make a comment. If you recall at the last meeting, you had a bunch of ideas, and so we talked about not doing a final vote until not this meeting, but the following meeting. And Andy did get some very useful feedback from administration regarding the content, and I think we need time to be able to filter through that and make possible changes before you have a final vote. Certainly, I'm not trying to stop you from commenting. We'd love more comments. I think some of the strengths that I see in it are also have been seen as potentially leading to unintended interpretations of the message, like that we have this humongous problem with guns in all our schools, which we don't. It is a very infrequent thing. And at the same time, I think it is really important for our kids and families to understand the consequences, life and death consequences, but also practical consequences. So we're, I think, still trying to make sure that, I don't know that there'll be any changes. We need some time to work with administration and, again, anything else that you might add. But I don't think we're ready for a vote. That's my 2 cents.
Great, thank you. Andy, I was going to say I really appreciated how you took in our feedback, though, of making sure that it wasn't the child who was responsible for taking care of all those kinds of things. It really was adult-focused and parent-centered. So thank you for that.
Thank you. As you guys all know, this, of course, the subject is very complicated. There are rights, of course, to gun ownership and a lot of opinions. So what we were trying to hit was the middle ground. Everyone has a right, but children need to be protected. But what Dr. Lamarca was referencing is something that I think I don't know if we want to think about it outside the meeting or discuss it here, but the unintended interpretation of, that this is a big problem. And with the former chief of our school police told me that the incidents are actually very low of finding firearms on our campuses, but it's just the risk is so high when it happens. It's so, but we don't want, because it's not true, we don't want people to think Washoe County School District has a firearms problem. We don't.
Right.
It's happening very, very rarely. So that is something I think we all have to, and you guys as commission have to decide on. Another suggestion that came is, would the commission be interested in a message sort of positioning this video from someone, the chair of this commission or someone on this commission, sort of saying why we created the video? And that might even help with any misinterpretations. So something, I don't know if you want to discuss this now again, but if someone from the commission wants to say, hey, this is why we created this video.
I would certainly be open to that, but I really think Commissioner Montoya, and yes, I see your hand. Please speak to this. I think given what you see at Renown, this would really hit home.
Yeah, I think, Andy, thank you again for that perspective. I think this is exactly the way we can approach it. Representing the trauma hospital, this could be something definitely my team and my organization are tackling head on. This is our initiative for 2025 into 2026. And if we frame it as such, understanding that is a low frequency, high severity situation, and we just want to get the information out to empower our community in the preventative space, we'd love to do that so we can connect on what that would look like, and in a partnership that brings in Renown Children's Hospital, Washoe County School District, and I think we'd both be very happy with that, and ultimately achieving the goal of sharing this information and equipping our families with the preventative aspect of this conversation.
It's perfect. So with that, we would probably need a motion to, yeah, okay. We would probably need a motion to add that edit and for you guys to connect on that. So before we do that, is there any public comment on this item, Sylvia?
No public comment.
Okay. Do we have a motion to support the commissioner's ideas here with working with Andy? I can make the motion.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just say,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Commissioner Montano, I motion to add a caveat, if you would, from the trauma center, the Children's Trauma Center, in regards to the purpose behind this video as a preventative video to empower the information in the content. Not sure if that gets us done, but I am open for revisions if need.
Nope, I think that does the job. Is there a second?
This is Commissioner Flores. I'll second.
Excellent. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Andy.
Okay, good. So then my direction right now would be to add that one part, maybe the commissioner himself, and an interview on camera that would frame and position the video, but everything else would stay about the same? Is that about right?
Well, so what I'm hearing is that you all will do that, and then if there's any admin recommendations, so we'll probably see it one more time before we make any final.
At the next meeting, okay. And then just as an add-on, this, I don't think this requires a vote, but we will have sort of in the captions links to resources so people can go further. So that will be part of it as well. So on YouTube, when you see, the captions will be links. That allows it to be updated and modernized as well, instead of embedding it in the video. If you put it in the captions, then sort of as links change, whatever, it keeps it a little more relevant, modern.
Brilliant. Thanks, Andy. Okay. Now moving on to our closing item, item 3.01. This is public comment. Sylvia, do we have any public comment?
We do have public comment. I might mispronounce her name again. I'm sorry. Marcina Kemden. Oh, she went to the restroom.
Okay.
So wait.
Then we will hold. Is there any other public comment?
No other public comment.
Okay. Then we will wait. We will take this as a pause.
You could move to announcement of the next meeting and then go back to public comment.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to, with Sarah's great expertise, we're going to move to the announcement of the next meeting. Our next meeting will be on December 1st, 2025, and look forward to seeing you all then. And if, just as an aside too, for folks who have been providing recommendations and feedback, thank you so much. And we definitely try to get those things agendized and work with staff to figure out how to best do that. And it looks like we are ready for our public comment. So back to item 3.01. Hello and welcome.
Hi, sorry, I've never done this before, so bear
That's
with
great.
me.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, members of the commission. My name is Marcia, and my child has not been in school since August 18, 2025, because the district did not follow her 504 plan or implement the medical recommendations required by her physician. The record reflects the following. She was given medication without proper written consent, as her current school did not have any consent forms on file for the request of medical records or administration of medication. Medical records were requested without written consent or authorization from the parents. Consent forms appear to have been altered after the fact to reflect permissions that do not appear to have been granted. To date, no original or certified copies of those documents have been produced to us. We have filed a police report. The responding officer, Backman, stated that the matter appeared to involve potential federal, state, and district level issues, and that it would be referred for further review to a detective. The following day, on his body cam footage, the same officer notated that it would be treated as informational only. My husband served as a police officer in 2 different states for many years and is now a criminal investigator in this state. Based on his professional experience, the handling of this report does not appear to meet standard investigative expectations. The laws and rules apply to everyone, not just to students or parents, but to district staff and law enforcement as well. If employees can modify consent forms without accountability, then the purpose of having those forms at all becomes unclear. And respectfully, how can the district be expected to investigate itself? That's like a student grading their own exam after being caught cheating. The outcome would hardly inspire confidence. Accountability requires independent oversight. I ask this commission to recommend an external, independent review of these procedures and documents, separate from district influence, so the findings carry public credibility. Families deserve assurance that integrity and compliance are consistently upheld within Washoe County schools. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming and your comment. All right, with that, we will end our meeting. It's 3:02. Thank you all so much.
Hi.